We're doing that. Okay, now we'll start the webinar.
Hey.
Well, hello. I'm real excited tonight. This is Jim Morgan. I'm with Caring Transitions, and one of the little services that we try to provide for the community is Life's Copilot, which is a portal to all things senior, predominantly, as far as all kinds of services. Tonight, we have someone that's a little out of that normal routine, but Jamie Olson is the editor of Uniquely You magazine. Okay. And Jamie, I want to let you explain who Uniquely You is and who you is. Okay. I guess we'll go from there. So,
I love it. Thank you, Jim, for the opportunity. So happy to be here. And it's such a pleasure and honor to bring Uniquely You to the special needs and disability community throughout the state of Indiana and also Michigan. I published that one about 18 months ago. My son is almost 13 now and severely autistic, epileptic, as well as nonverbal. And so I've raised him and through the years, didn't for the first 5 years of his life, I didn't know anybody that had kids with special needs. So, like a lot of people feel very alone, isolated, overwhelmed as they're navigating their day to day journey. And I thought to myself, I can't be the only parent in Indiana that has a child with special needs that feels this way. And how can I turn my pain to purpose and help other people in the community find resources and support? Just so happened my background was in publishing. The company I've been with is called the N2 Company, and they do magazines all across the country for over 800 different areas. And through my own personal healing and growth, I in 2019 really felt Holy Spirit kind of land the vision on my heart and was like, hello, you've been doing magazines for 8 years, sharing stories, running events. You know what it's like being a parent of a special needs child and how hard it is to find resources and how disconnected the community feels. You should start a special needs magazine. And so I took that idea to my company president, and within a quick 3-minute conversation, he gave me the green light to figure it out. So 2020 hit, and everyone's home, with COVID and isolated even more. And I thought, gosh, out of all the years we can get this resource out, we got to do everything we can to make that happen. So when my kids went back to school in 2020, I dove full force into launching this great resource. And it is free. Nobody has to pay for it on behalf of our supporters that help make it possible. And each month they get to use their space to share valuable resources, tips, tricks, tools, different programs that they offer to better help support the community. And so they truly become such a great resource and a partner within the community to provide, such great tools and things that people don't know about or ways they can plug in. It's very much established to help develop word of mouth referrals, trust within, the disability community. So people can view it, whether it's digital or printed and mailed. We currently mail out over 1,200 copies per month, and they go to families primarily in Indianapolis and surrounding counties, but we do have people outside of that reach that want the printed version, and so we can, mail there. But digitally, anybody can, view it on the go, and all the links are clickable, so they can access everything and be able to get to where they need to go quickly. We also have like our local event section in the back, and that's great for anybody that is doing an event for the special needs community and would like to for us to share that with the community. They can easily send me over an email with details about their event, date, time, location, and link, and we can add that in our local event section for free, just to let more people know about those event opportunities. We really love celebrating the community. This is a community that oftentimes feels very isolated and alone, and oftentimes is put in the back of a room, and we take that same individual and we put them on the cover, and we celebrate, their journey and their story, and give them a chance to tell their story from their perspective in their timing. And we have all types from different backgrounds and ages and demographics, navigating all different types of special needs. And to be able to celebrate them, I just got off the phone with a mom earlier today, and we're featuring her in the upcoming April issue. She runs a nonprofit called the House of Pens. And she was so thankful for us to be able to, share her story and to be able to honor her son, who passed away 5 weeks after birth. It's an incredibly touching story, but to be able to give, people a chance to do that just helps provide more supports and opportunities for people to connect and plug in. And it's designed to be a resource, to help people, not feel so alone or disconnected, and yeah, share their story to help others. So that's why we created Uniquely You. And we now have currently 8 people across the nation in several states that are going to be ramping up to launch a Uniquely You in their local area. And so we're excited to watch Uniquely You expand and help support different communities across the country, and can continue connecting individuals with their supports and needs. So yeah, little background of myself and kind of my ways to turn, my personal pain to purpose and help others.
So now, what is the? I mean, I know part of the community. How broad is this community that you're serving?
Yeah, so currently we, like I said, mail 1,200 printed copies to families, and then we, over the state of Indiana, monthly reach about 30,000 people through our digital version. So a lot of people can access it. Anyone can, reshare the stories that we publish, and save them as resources to help their families. We recently worked with the Arc of Indiana, and Lynn Jones, one of our incredible writers. She put together a awesome Indiana waiver update article with everything about the waiver, which is easy to understand and kind of done in a nice way. So I'll share that link with families as well. And that way people know where to go to sign up to get it, or to share a story, or to view past issues. We have several resources on our page as well, from all the support groups throughout the state of Indiana that directly support those with disabilities, to all of the different sensory parks, places, and spaces. And we're going to be doing an article kind of updating all of the support groups. And so if you do run a support group that supports the community, we'd be happy to share that information in our updated article. And we revamp those, on an annual basis, and link them on our page for people to have access to. We also do we have, with Mother's Day and Father's Day coming up, and all the different awarenesses throughout the year. We have pictures worth 1,000 words that people can upload a quick picture and put in. Maybe it's a milestone that they hit. Maybe they got their driver's license, or graduated, or are living independently. We want to celebrate, all of those milestones, and they can do that, through our pictures worth 1,000 words form on our Linktree page.
Are your disabilities all neurological, or is it whatever?
Well, so yeah, all over the board, right? From mental health. In May, with being Mental Health Awareness Month, we have a little bit more of a focus on mental health, and Autism Awareness Month in November, we focus there. And with Down Syndrome Awareness Month in October, we focus on that. And so we kind of have some primary focuses each month, but we are not limited to just those awarenesses. We are, able to, based on, we're all based on a nomination process, or people directly reaching out to us that say that they would like to contribute or share a story. So it's reader involved, which
So
is,
the readers are your writers.
yep, the readers can write it if they choose, or they
Mhm.
can quickly answer the questions, submit them back, and we have a great team of writers that are more than willing to help, write those stories for the individual.
Now you say you have all these events. Are you guys spearheading these events, or are you being a bulletin board about where they are, or both?
Both. Yep, we do both. So we can
Mhm.
share all the events in our local events page in the magazine, but we do events to help connect and support community. In February, we just recently did our New Year's Bash, and had several people out in the community participate in that. We did a variety and talent show. So people got to sing and dance and play the ukulele and read their poems, and it was a very uplifting event. We actually had the Best of All band with Gigi's Playhouse come out and perform a song, and it was Bold, Benefits of Learning Dance, a local nonprofit, was also there, and they had several individuals perform. So we do that on an annual basis to impact the community, and we invite our partners that support Uniquely You to come to our events and have a table and share information and resources and meet people in the community and build deeper and more meaningful connections and relationships. So the goal is to bridge the gaps wherever they may be. We actually just recently launched and will be launching a Rise and Shine event team. So people that have an interest in participating and bringing some of their ideas to the table can join the team and help with future events that we do throughout the community. Our next one we're doing will be at We Rock the Spectrum in April here in Carmel, Indiana. And then in May, every year, we do a special needs moms and caregivers weekend retreat that's held at Teeter Organic Farms up in Noblesville. Beautiful location, gorgeous woods near a river. We have workshops and healing opportunities and growth and bonfires and singing and dancing. And many of these parents and caregivers have never had a night off or a break ever. And so the goal is to really pour in and love on, these moms and caregivers so that they can put on their oxygen mask and then go back into the community and love their families even better.
Well, the getting into the caregiver side, that is an area that I'm more familiar with. Again, we predominantly deal with seniors in this on this platform,
Yeah.
and but with that, I've statistically I've heard that 1 in 3 households today have someone that has a caregiver living in it, helping a family member. 1 in 3. That's a pretty big number. Yeah.
Yes. Huge, substantial number of people constantly pouring, whether it be their children or their spouses or, their parents. There's definitely a huge need for caregivers that support the community.
And now I don't know in your world, but you can educate us. It's like, especially with like dementia and what have you in that world, okay, that statistically the Alzheimer's Association says that 60%, it's actually a little over 60%, almost 66% of all the caregivers end up passing before the person they're caring for because of the
Oh,
24/7, 365, no time off,
yeah.
so I would imagine you may be dealing in a younger age group, but it's still probably, you know,
Mhm.
the burnout, the challenges that go along with that whole process.
100%. Yeah, we're seeing it all over in the community from all different families and individuals navigating, how to self-love, right? If they can constantly pour out into others for some reason, random thought, but I had this theory of like if I loved myself well, that was selfish because then I wasn't, giving all I had to others in my connection circle, from my kids to my spouse to people that needed my support. So I would do more for others than I would myself. And then it would lead to constant, burnout. And it wasn't actually until stumbling upon an incredible local nonprofit called Purposeful Living Inc. They actually help the modern woman who on the outside looks like she has it all together, but deep down is broken, searching, or lonely. And they provide free prayer and free care and free coaching, up to 10 sessions, one-on-one working directly with a certified coach. They also provide growth groups. And this organization truly helped me do a lot of the processing and healing I needed to do and plug into like a safe community to receive support, so that I eventually found the purpose of launching and doing Uniquely You. So their mission is to, yeah, help the modern woman heal and find their purpose so they can go back into the community and make a bigger difference in the community.
Is
So
there, I mean, I know the opportunities that are available in the other side of the aged side of the spectrum. Is there like respite care? Is there care for the caregivers available that people just don't know is out there?
yes, tons. There's lots of respite pack, and depending on which waiver you have, the family supports waiver, each waiver or the health and wellness waiver, they offer different, supports for the needs. Recently learned that you can actually, as a parent of a child with a disability, be a certified home health aide and get paid as a caregiver, even if your child is under the age of 18. I thought they had to be 18 plus, but that's actually a new thing that I just found out about. So that's huge and has been, very beneficial, especially those parents that are single parents or, just can't work outside of their home and have to provide all their support to their kids. And it's hard to, take time off and get and be able to work a typical 9 to 5 type job. So it can definitely help. And then, the pack and the respite, and you can get music therapy. I recently learned as well that you can, as a parent, if your child isn't in a typical school or enrolled in school, you can apply for an educational scholarship account and receive funding that you can decide as a parent which providers you want to use to support your child in their needs. Anyway, anything from micro schooling to tutoring to, childcare, type support. That ESA program, really has been a huge program for people that don't have kids in school. My son was an ABA his whole life and recently transitioned and now is in school and loving it, riding the bus and everything, which is great to see. But yeah, if it wasn't for ESA during the times we didn't have school, it was a good way to pair ABA and using ESA for alternative services as well.
So is the pathways thing getting straightened out? I know it was a mess. It's still a mess on the senior side, so I didn't know if it was getting resolved over on your side or not.
Slowly but surely, but it is a process like
Okay.
anything else. Yep.
Mhm.
Little by little, we're seeing more and more people get certifications to be able to offer, those programs and supports to people that have kids under
Well,
18.
they overspent by $1 billion during COVID, and now they're like, oh, we actually need to figure this out. So yes.
And what's so mind blowing to me, and again, this may be a side conversation, but connecting with even people out in Maryland, there's a parent out there who informed me that apparently they give $200,000 per year per child with a disability. Out here, with at least the family supports waiver, it's 18,000, per child per year, which is a huge discrepancy. So if the budgets were set appropriately from the beginning to allow staff to be paid appropriately, we wouldn't have so much turnover. That's what at least I'm seeing a lot as a parent. I have to find people to go in to be trained and then they stick around for maybe a month or two if I'm lucky. But unfortunately, this isn't their main focus. They're going to school, they're getting a degree, they will get paid more other places. And so constantly bringing people into our home and training them, it works, but it's not a long-term, solution because of the turnover of so many people. And to constantly, pair them with your child and build that trust and bond and relationship and then and leave is really hard, for the children to navigate.
On your magazine, your focus of the magazine, I know you're a voice for the people to tell their own stories. Do you like feature um, professionals that solve different issues along the way? Like for instance, I'm thinking of, some of the older law attorneys that I know also specialize in child dependent care,
Yeah.
as well. So,
Yes, I love that you bring that up. In fact, I'll share with you, Jim, a link if you want to share it with the group so they're aware. But we're going to be incorporating into Uniquely You a professional expert spotlight. And anyone that is a professional expert in their certain, industry or field can be able to submit, their story for us to highlight them as an expert. And again, that's something they can write or we can help with. But we're seeing a need of being able to shine a light on more experts that can provide, different key information to help support people. So we're
well,
excited to get that out and going.
that's the entire purpose of Life's Copilot. It was because I've been dealing with senior issues with my family for decades. Okay, I'm the only one that stayed in state, so I had in-laws, parents, uncle that I've been caring for, and trying to get good, solid information was almost impossible. You'd always find out about programs or services that would have been beneficial 3 years ago, but
Mhm.
why didn't I know about it, right? So Life Scope Out is just a portal to put all that kind of information out and let the professionals tell about what's going on. And so that's why I didn't know if you had such a thing.
Heck yeah. I love it. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. We can certainly, that's amazing. And I love that you guys are doing that. There's a huge, huge need for getting information out. The saying is, right, you don't know what you don't know until you know.
Right.
And so the quicker we can get information out to people, the faster they're able to receive those supports and the better it impacts their future. Um,
Well, it happened to me is all of a sudden I got into the senior world and I started networking with these people and I started meeting them, finding out what they did. And I got angry. I was like, well, where were you? Why didn't somebody tell me you're
what you
there?
did. Yeah.
Mhm. So, and like right now I'm going through it, all kinds of stuff going on, trying to deal with a family member, trying to figure out what to do next. And I'm in the middle of it. So in my Rolodex, I've got tons of people that do these things. It's still incredibly difficult and frustrating to put all these pieces
Mhm.
together to make it work. And I'm sitting there thinking, what if you didn't have
Didn't.
my sphere?
Right.
You know,
Right.
that'd be terrifying. You know,
Absolutely. That's the feeling a lot of people have. It's almost too much to even want to spend the time looking because every door opens another door is another opportunity and then you find something else and it's a cycle. You can get down deep into that cycle. But what I found, at least with what I am doing, is like anytime I connect with somebody and find out about something around that same time, I'm like, oh, this must be something I need to implement. It's
yeah.
like a good confirmation, for me to hear it, a few different times, from different people around the same time. It's neat to watch that happen.
Well, very good. So, where's your goal next? What are you trying to do with your outreach and to get all this stuff going here?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. So, because our costs for printing is not cheap, right? I recently went to and had like a couple pages of color pages printed, and it was like 80 cents a page. And I'm like, whoa, that's so crazy. But our magazine went from like 28 pages to over 50. And then our print count went from 500 to over 1,200. And so the cost of publishing this is obviously not cheap because of the amount of pages, and we directly mail them to families. So for us to mail to more families and to support more people and get information out directly to families in print, we need to bring on some more supporters to help support Uniquely You. And we really just want to, again, inform the community of the services that are available, so that we can all be better connected and supported throughout the journey. So happy to share my screen and kind of show
Oh,
people some
please
of
go
our
right ahead.
digital
You see at the bottom,
links.
there's a green share
Okay.
button.
Yeah, yeah. I'll pop open that and I'll share this link as well with you, Jim, so you have it to share with the group. But this is actually the main link where people can go to either sign up to get Uniquely You. They can view any of our past issues here. If anyone would love to connect to learn more about how to be involved in Uniquely You or support it, we also are looking for businesses that may want to help co-sponsor spaces for nonprofits, and they can donate money to the nonprofit, get the tax write-off, and then put their logo in that nonprofit space as a co-sponsor of their space, which is a huge win-win-win situation, because then more people in the community get to know more about what nonprofits are doing and the services they're offering, but it's not coming out of the nonprofit's budget, so they can still provide ample services to their families. So people can always connect with me here. We also incorporated our Indiana Medicaid waiver article here. If a family or individual would like to share a story, they can click that here. We also have our pictures worth 1,000 words. All the support groups that are available in Indiana for those with disabilities and special needs are here. And then we did do a great article on different sensory spaces, parks, and places. We even have advocacy stories, siblings' perspectives, if people have passions or special interests. If an individual with a disability runs a business, we will feature their business for free and talk more about their programs and what they do. We also have our nonprofit story features. So if any nonprofit that is supporting the disability adult or young child population can submit their nonprofit story, and we will feature their business and organization for free as well by contributing in that link there. But all of our past issues are hubbed here. and anyone has access to view or reshare, any of these stories at any time. The most recent issue was our February one. We always release the digital version the first day of every month. And so the next issue will be coming out on March 1st, which is exciting. And throughout Uniquely You, we provide, like I said, lots of resources, ways to find out about organizations that exist. The sponsor index is where we list all of the supporters of Uniquely You. It's kind of like the Google of the community to allow people to find things pretty quickly at a glance there. As our great team, we promote our events here. We put in resources. The stories are really the impact of what we do, being able to shine a light on their journey and what they've been through and overcame. And that provides a lot of hope and encouragement to others. We sponsor and highlight our sponsors that support Uniquely You as well. So we're able to highlight Phoenix Community Services here. Autism Community Connection was the nonprofit we featured this month. Kind of a neat section we do for different awarenesses throughout the year. And then we do events. Our most recent one we did back is in January was at the Dig Dig in Castleton, one of the largest indoor sandboxes, kind of a fun place to check out. And then this is that local event section that I referenced earlier, where people can share and events with us, and we're happy to get those out into the community. So yeah, that's kind of a basic example of what we do and what we publish each and every month. And I'll share those links with you as well.
So you do both sponsorship and you do sell ad space in there as well, I
Yep,
assume. Okay, that's good.
absolutely. Yep.
Mhm.
Those are our sponsors that, help support it. And then our team is fully equipped to help any organization or business with the designing of those promotions every month. To be honest, Jim, not a lot of people have time to sit behind their computer and design and create the layout. They want to
Right.
focus on what they're passionate about. So our team can help take that off their plate. And then every month those promotions can change and be switched up based on the information they're wanting to impact the community with. The types of partners that are great fits for us are ones that thrive on word of mouth and referrals. They're definitely looking to build trust in the community, build relationships with people in the community. They're not looking for thousands of different calls, but right calls, right people, allowing word of mouth and referrals to grow within that community, while supporting a great resource to allow more families to receive it.
Oh,
And
very
then
good. You and I met at some networking thing, and I honestly, gosh, can't remember which one it was, but there are so many of them. But
there are, yeah, a lot of good ones to get to. I
yeah,
believe there's a
exactly.
brown bag meeting tomorrow, and one with I think Makoa always meets like the
Yeah.
second Thursday of every month. So
Mhm.
um,
That may be where we met.
I
Yeah.
think it was that one. Yep, that was
Yeah.
the one we were at.
So,
And then outside of that, we recently just launched something pretty cool outside of our company. Into they have Highport Digital and can help manage all the digital solutions to support businesses. They found like a huge need across the country, working with so many different businesses, that people don't want to post social media things regularly because it can become very time consuming. So our team can help create posts that go out on your Facebook and Instagram page 3 to 4 times a week, up to 18 times per month. And then they design them and post them for you to kind of make that a pretty seamless way to kind of stay in front of your current, following and be engaging with them. And then we have a nice email connect program that we just started to help with businesses doing their newsletters that they send out in emails. And so they can send out over 5,000 up to 5,000 emails on your current contact list twice a month, while sending out a text message too. So just kind of taking what we do to a more personal, impactful way of helping from not just the print space, but all the digital space, from helping people design and publish their websites to developing landing pages to geofencing, geofarming, and anything from OTT or Hulu, Roku ads. Those things our team can help do for businesses. So we're definitely way more than just a printing company. We have a lot of cool digital supports we can offer as well.
Well, I understand a lot of the focus is younger, is younger children that whatever that dependent age normally. Do you have a big clientele of people that are older adults that have older, adult disabled kids that they have to deal with? I mean, that is that something that is part of
Mm.
your, because I
Yes,
run into that periodically where all of a sudden there's a whole new level of what do we do when we're gone, or what do we do when
right.
we can't care. And so there's on that end of the spectrum, there's a great deal of concern and
Yeah.
worry and planning
100%,
and
especially when your kids are like used to the routine and going to school and having those supports. And then all of a sudden they graduate and it's like, now what? There's not a lot of things for the adult community. I was actually meeting earlier today with the Autism Society of Indiana, and they're working towards developing different events and programs to help the adult autism community, which is absolutely needed and will be a tremendous support. So yeah, we're all for featuring people. In fact, it is those that are adults that have kind of navigated it for years that can really pour in and help those that are just getting started in their journey, because they've learned a thing or two about a thing or two.
that's true. So, but I know, I've seen the 80-year-olds worrying about what they're going to do with the 60-year-old, and how to protect them and whatever too. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. We recently, yeah, have done stories in regards to something very similar to that with adults and, raising kids. And at that age, you're like, all right, it gets to be a lot and very, very overwhelming for parents and caregivers to navigate. So yeah, finding a way to incorporate that self-love and self-care into your daily routine is so important. This world is filled with so many distractions and so many things to pull people in a billion directions, and it's easy to go to the things we're familiar with. It's a little harder to say, all right, what are the things that are going to fill me up most and help me to be a better mom, parent, caregiver to those around me. So yeah, being protecting your time and being mindful with the time that you have, even if it's just closing your eyes and breathing, just as
yes,
simple as that. It doesn't have to be this like massive thing that you're having to take out tons of time to do. But yeah, just being sure we retrain our brains to think, in the way that we want them to think. Because if not, that little voice in our head will tell us all kinds of things and create all kinds of stories and narratives. And so differentiating from, not letting your thoughts control you, but you controlling your thoughts. That's something I picked up on recently reading the book called The Surrender Experiment. It was really good. It talked a lot about how to control that little voice in your head.
well, there you go. So, do you have, I mean, I don't know if you advocate and I know that there's issues with certain age groups as well, but it's like, there's, again, coming from my background with mostly dealing with seniors, there's Adult Day, which is a big advocate, something that people can do. Is there that kind of resource? I know for 18 and up there is,
Mhm.
okay, but not a lot of them. There are some,
Right.
okay, because I know some that only take seniors, only, or only, and will take a bigger spectrum. Is there that people that have the level of care that can handle someone under 18? Is that out there?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yep, lots of supports out there. You'll find those resources in our index of Uniquely You. But just to touch on your point, that you mentioned with adults and finding caregivers that can support. We recently had an article written by a parent who has an adult daughter with severe autism and has extreme behaviors to the point where she wasn't able to find a single agency to support her daughter's needs. And that's absolutely heartbreaking. Like in the story, she actually had several families who testified, of knowing others who've, unfortunately committed suicide because of the amount of stress that they've been under all these years. And it's just heartbreaking to not find, support for your children when they have, funding to do it. They're just the providers sometimes don't have the training for being able to provide supports to help. And you don't ever, as a parent, want to put your child in a situation to cause potential injury to somebody else or be injured by somebody else. And so it's very important to have proper staffing, which comes back to proper pay and proper support for that caregiver as well.
Well, again, why Life's Copilot exists is because, in fact, what really triggered it, I can tell you, is through my getting to know all these different people and all the different things that are out there. It was on a Facebook page. Somebody was complaining about trying to deal with something with their mom, okay, senior situations.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you need to look into, get an elder law attorney. You need to do some things because you can go to Medicaid waiver and you don't have to be poor. And I was trying to explain some things. And this
Mhm.
person would like contact me, like, how do I do this? And I go, well, call Socoa. Okay. That was my first thing.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, Socoa is wonderful, but when they got hold of Socoa, they got some newbie that opened the book and just read the
Mm.
rules, not knowing how you can work those rules with an attorney. Okay. And
Mhm.
so they were told that she wouldn't qualify, and so he was like butting his head. And it was so frustrating to me. I'm going,
Yeah.
this information is there, but people don't know how to, there's services, there's programs, there's resources. But if you don't know about them, or if you don't know how to access them, there might as well not be there.
Absolutely. Yep. It doesn't support people at any level if people don't know about it to receive the support. So I love that you're doing creating these opportunities for people to share more about ways they support community. We're definitely in alignment when it comes to bringing awareness to ways to support others.
So what if you've got an audience, whatever that happens to be right now, and then of course this video will get shared like on social media. It'll get shared and we have a newsletter that goes out, and so it goes out it'll see quite a few people. But
Lovely.
um, over the next week or so, it'll get 1,000 to 1,500 views probably. So anyway, that's kind of how it works. But in that thing, what do you want to tell somebody that they don't know, or if you could grab somebody by the lapels and go, listen to me.
Oh my gosh. That's a loaded question. If I could tell anybody anything, it would be to never stop advocating for the needs that you know that you have. Because if one person says no, there's always going to be opportunities to find somebody that'll say yes. And oftentimes it is us as the parent, as the caregiver, that has to be the one that is calling and researching and learning and asking questions. But just to be like an advocate, right? Because not often is the person you're caring for able to advocate for themselves. So yeah, just constantly being, if you don't know, ask somebody and get to the root of what the issue is. Don't even, I was talking to somebody earlier today, and she was explaining to me an awful situation she went through where she went to the doctor and they said, oh no, that's not an issue. And then she went to a secondary person and they were like, yeah, that is a big issue. We need to fix that. And so, yeah, it's not a bad idea to get multiple opinions and research and, really determine what is the best, course of action.
Well, one thing that I have learned by watching things, around me, the best thing to do is find somebody that's an expert on it rather than trying to figure it out yourself on the internet.
Yes. Yes, that'll save you time, money, and a lot of pain and
Right.
suffering.
Like with my sphere of influence that I've developed through this and what we've done. my joke is, and I'm really not joking, is that I know a little bit about a lot of things, but
Mhm.
I know who knows a lot about a little thing, and
Yes.
so let me get you hooked up with that person, so
That's huge. I love that you said that.
so I know enough to be dangerous, but I know who to call.
Yep.
So,
And that's the most important thing, to know the right person with the right information to be able to, yeah, help and support.
well, Jamie, thank you so much for sharing with us today. I'll
Absolutely.
make a video of this and I'll send it to you so you can do with as you please. It will be on Facebook. It'll be on, whatever. So it'll be different places
Cool.
out there. And we'll see where this goes from here. So just get people to know about you.
Absolutely, Jim. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It was a pleasure to be here.
It was fun. I'll talk to you later.
All
Thanks for
right.
coming. Bye bye. If I can find my way out of here. What's going on? There we go.